welcome to B Review. I'm Tom, and you might know me from B Hero Fights, where myself and my co-host Brian come at you every week with two or more sometimes like subjects and debate which one is best. It's arbitrary, we're aware, but we have a great time doing it, and we always love getting you involved. But I'm actually coming at you this week. This is my very first B Review, and I'm coming at you because I'm so excited. I've been writing reviews for our website for a while now, and now I actually got to see my very first pre-screening of a movie, and I couldn't be more excited about it, so I just had to actually film my review for you. So let's talk about that. The movie that I saw was great. It was a sequel to a movie that I absolutely love and adore, and it was none other than The Hitman's Wife's Bodyguard. Holy cow, what a tongue twister. How do you say that without getting lost? If you know, let me know, because I don't know. Anyways, let's talk about this movie, because again, like I said, I loved everything about it. My biggest critique is the name. I just, every time I try and tell people that I saw it, I get lost in the weeds. Let's talk about it. Starting with the good. First off, reprising their roles, we have Samuel Jackson and Ryan Reynolds and Salma Hayek. The amazing trio. Those three killed it in the last movie, but there is one of those three that is really responsible for taking this movie and elevating it to the next level. And that is none other than Salma Hayek, actually. Holy cow, she killed it. She is the bread and butter of this movie. This movie would have still been hilarious without her, or even if it was just as small as the first movie, but what she does, what she brings, the chemistry of how she works with Ryan Reynolds and Samuel Jackson was just perfect. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of the three of them on screen. The way that they all play off each other was incredible. And the family dynamic that they created, it's just hilarious. This movie has a star-studded cast, of course, with those three, but also Frank Grillo. I've been a huge fan of him for a long time. One of the first movies I saw with him was Warrior, and he just killed it. Love that guy. Phenomenal actor. Morgan Freeman, of course. Antonio Banderas. We've got star-studded cast. Everyone's on point. Nobody misses a beat. Everything is really good. The jokes just fly. The action is great. It's an action comedy, in case you didn't know. Everything just keeps going. The pacing is actually really wonderful with this movie. There's not a lot of complaints that personally that I had. Now, I'll get into, obviously no movie is for everyone, and we'll get into that in a moment here, but I think that the way that they are able to pull Ryan Reynolds' character back in to be working with Samuel Jackson's character, and the way that they did that was to me, it was clever. It was a great call to action, for the hero's journey. Anyone that follows our stuff will know that I'm all about the hero's journey. I loved that. I actually related a lot with Ryan Reynolds' character. There was a lot that I just personally drew from that, and I really appreciate it. I thought it was just a great time. Everyone, like I said, is on point. Let's take a step back, though. Let's talk for a moment just about the bad. There is not much bad to say about this movie. First off, I already said the name. It's a mouthful. Outside of that, though, a few things that I would say that I'm just maybe disappointed in. Frank Grillo, he didn't do anything wrong. Nothing wrong. I just don't feel like they really used him to his full potential. He is a phenomenal actor. I love Frank Grillo. But his role in this movie really could have been done by anyone. It could have been done by you. Anyone could have done this. Now, yes, that doesn't mean that he doesn't still shine bright as a beacon in this movie. But it's just, it left me hoping for more. And, the way he delivers everything is phenomenal. So it just made it even that much more like, one more scene, come on, give me just a little action with him, because he does well. So that was one disappointment. And along those same lines, Morgan Freeman, again, he did nothing wrong. Nothing is wrong with the way these actors portray their characters, or even with the way that these characters are written. Again, it just left me wanting more. Morgan Freeman, he's big right front and center on the poster. wish he had a little bit more of a presence in the movie. He has an important role in the movie, don't get me wrong, but he's not, his screen time is not as much as I would have hoped for. And the dynamic that he has with Ryan Reynolds, I think, was very clever with everyone. But I think the way that they wrote him in was good. I just think that they could have done a little more fun stuff with him. Now I get he's, there's a lot going on in this movie. I think the story overall is pretty succinct. So, what can I say? But I really enjoyed it overall. The bad, though, let's talk, or not the bad, excuse me, the ugly. Let's talk just for a moment about the ugly. There's really not much. The only thing that I can really say from a storytelling perspective, and this is going to be going from one movie to the next, the first to this one, is that Ryan Reynolds' character, out of all of them, is the only one that doesn't really feel very consistent from the first film to this one. It's not that he's out of character, but he, in the first movie, he definitely feels a little more put together. He feels a little more in control. Now, I understand that this movie is trying to show him recovering from the events of the first movie, trying to regain control. So I guess I get that, but it did feel like he was a little out of place, a little bit more of the fish out of water than I would have expected. I'm not saying that this is bad. I'm just saying that from a storytelling perspective, the character was a little inconsistent from the first movie to this one. That's really the only critique that I have. It's not even bad. It's probably not going to be noticeable to most people. That's just noticeable to me. So if you notice that, I would like to hear your thoughts. I mean, for one, I'd like to know that I'm not crazy in thinking this. And for another, I just want to hear your thoughts on the movie, because again, I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was an overall wonderful time. The action, like I said, nonstop. Some of the moments in there, like, this movie is a little meta. It's very aware of what it's doing, and it's very aware of the audience. Now, there are some things, there's going to be some jokes in there that are kind of slipped right in there that are just subtle enough that the nerd in me was able to pick up on it, but I didn't hear anyone else in the audience pick up on it. So maybe it was just me, maybe that joke was written for me, but I lost my mind. There was just a few times, the nuances, the way that they were able to call out fans of these, of not just the characters, but the actors and the other things that the actors have done. Just in a very subtle meta way, it was perfect for me, and I really appreciated it. Good on you guys, as storytellers, writers, directors, everyone that was involved in this. I really can't say enough good about this movie. I really enjoyed everything about it. It's fast paced, it's violent, which, if you're going to take kids, I wouldn't take kids. It's definitely not meant for that. It is a little graphic with the violence, but it is enjoyable. It's enjoyable for adults. It's played for laughs, so it's all in good taste, but, I wouldn't bring my 7-year-old or my 3-year-old to see it. But I really enjoyed it. I definitely want to see it again. As far as this movie goes, let's give it a rating. Let's say out of s'mores. It's summer. We're all getting out there. We're roasting marshmallows over the fire. And what better way to spend summer along with your s'mores than a nice summer blockbuster, fresh after getting vaccinated, fresh back from COVID. Yes, s'mores. I'm giving this 4.5 s'mores out of 5. I loved this movie. I really could not say enough good about this movie. It is one of the best movies I've seen in a very long time. Admittedly, I'm a huge fan of the action comedy genre. The only genre that I put above that would be horror, and anyone that knows me knows that I also find that quite comical. So I really enjoyed this movie. Definitely check it out. It's time for us to start feeling normal again, guys. If you can go see this in a theater, please do. We don't want that experience to go away for our children, for our grandchildren. Just as importantly for us, I want to keep going to the movies. It's a special thing for me. Go see it in the theaters if you can. If you can't, there's plenty of other ways to see it. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this review, please hit that like button. Please subscribe. It really goes a long way for us. It doesn't really cost you anything. And if you would be so kind as well, hit that notification bell and you'll know what other things we have going on. Every week we're going to be releasing a new podcast episode for Be Hero Fights. They are always enjoyable. The last one that we did was Jason Bourne vs. John Wick. If you think you have some insight on that, listen and let us know. All right, and lastly, thank you so much for watching, guys. We love you. Make sure you hit that like button, that subscribe button, and if you'd be so kind, hit that notification bell button so you know exactly what we're doing, what's new with our podcast, Be Hero Fights, with Heroes Play live streaming video games for you guys, and everything new and upcoming for Be Hero. We are so appreciative for you guys. Thank you so much, and to heroes the world over, wherever you are in your hero's journey, as always, fight on.